If you're curious about multi-cloud database deployments, then you've come to the right place. Next up, we have Alex Lutai, who is a development manager in Canonical's data platform team. Alex will provide a step-by-step guide on how to deploy MySQL across two public clouds using Canonical's open source operators. Alex, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today on this great event. I'm excited to be here and present you our new technology, multi-cloud database deployment. Stay with us to return the freedom to your vendor-locked infrastructure. Let's start saying a couple of words about Juju itself, our key component of our success. Keep in mind that Juju is extremely flexible. It's designed to deploy charms, operator applications in all possible clouds, including hybrid and self-hosted, and even bare metal. But all this power comes with a really simple idea inside. And this is an idea to connect different applications. Say you have two applications, one want something, another provide that information, and what you want is just connect them, integrate them, and they will start talking each other and generate all necessary details in all config files. So you will stop copy pasting passwords and configs between the applications. Good example here can be a web server discourse and Postgres. So when discourse need a database to store, you deploy and relay these two applications, and discourse request a database, and Postgres provide it inside the relation, inside the integration, and all the details like IP addresses, DNS names, passwords, credentials, everything included there, and discourse can automatically start saving all the data there in fully safe, isolated environment with all necessary high-level functionality like backups, high availability, DR, etc. So applications the user only need to execute 3 commands. 2 of them is to deploy applications, Discourse and Postgres, and 1 to connect them together. We have designed a special interfaces for applications to talk each other. Stop copy pasting inside your configs. Juju can do more powerful things. For example, we have a COS, Canonical Observability Stack, which gives you all the necessary metrics, log collection, and alert rules capabilities. And you can see all necessary commands on the screen. There are a lot. Moreover, for people who never saw Juju. But once you start checking them precisely, you will see that they are well grouped. For example, users can add models and switch between models. And in Kubernetes operators, Juju models are Kubernetes namespaces. So you already know what's happening behind the scene. And then inside that model namespace, you can deploy either application or entire bundles, set of applications. Or, for example, each application can offer and consume interfaces. So we can create a cross-model, cross-namespace integrations. And the last bit, you have heard that I mentioned integrate and relate, and you will see that in demo later. Just keep in mind that this is the same, historically it's the same functionality, and we're in transit mode. So don't be surprised, it just connects application in both cases identically. So moving forward from here, you already see that all these commands are well structured and you can easily remember the logic. You create a model, you deploy application, you relate applications. But this is a lot of commands to copy paste or type. For sure, you can simplify your life by using Terraform Juju provider. You can find it on a registry, Terraform registry website. And here is a simple example. It's as trivial as describe which application you want from which channel, 14th table for Postgres, and then one command Terraform apply to deploy your charms using your Terraform modules. If you don't need that complexity, you can go simpler with a YAML file where you can simply describe, I want a Postgres, I want Discourse, they should be related. And then with one command juju deploy YAML file, they will go and be deployed the same way like you copy paste the commands manually or type them manually on CLI. And what is more important, the application can have more than one unit. So literally it's a pods in Kubernetes. And with the Juju, you can scale that application and they will be automatically clusterized. So once you type Juju scale application Postgres 3, your single unit database will be reconfigured and resilvered with all the data will be resilvered for all the units in a complete cluster, Patroni-based cluster. How cool is that, right? So we prepared a demo for you today. And now you have learned the biggest part of Juju already, and I hope that you will enjoy the um, following following it with me. However, the way how we will see the Juju behavior is a CLI interface. So we need to understand how it works, where to look, and how not to miss the most interesting parts. First things, let's install Juju. How complex is that, right? Because we talked about simplicity. It is as simple as sudo snap install Juju. If it's that too complex, just click a button install on a Snap Store and you will have it. From that moment, you can start typing all the commands I mentioned above. But the most popular one, and today as well on demo, will be the Juju status. You can add relations if you want to see relations there and minus minus relations. So it's quite a lot of information here, and for a person who see it the first time, it might be complex to quickly understand where to look. So let's quickly scan that because we will see a lot of that output. So on the top of the section, you have general descriptions telling you on which controller you are sitting it. It says my controller, in which cloud and region. So that's my personal Kubernetes local one on localhost, and you see that information on the top, and Juju version, for example. Below, you see the list of applications deployed on that model, and you can see the charm column, which is telling you what the charm name. For example, here it's a MySQL and WordPress, from which channel, which version. You see that I can deploy applications using my own names, like MyDB, my site, and they can deploy more than one of that charm inside the same model. That all your work. Also important column is status, which telling you that the application is in a healthy state, like active, or it is doing something. For example, my site WordPress is currently waiting because something is being installed. And lower you see that unit my site 0, so pod 0 is currently under maintenance. There is some charm installation activities going on. The below section is information about all established relations, and there is two types. You see peer relations, something what pods are talking each other inside the same application, and regular relations, which are connecting different applications. For example, here we see that MySQL and WordPress are related through MySQL client interface, and this is how WordPress received database access and credentials details. Super. Now you know Juju status output, but sometimes it can be big. Don't be surprised. This is one of our great solution, Charmed Kubeflow, fully ready enterprise level MLOps, MLflow Kubeflow installation. You can deploy it in one command on your preference, YAML, bundle, Terraform. It looks a bit scary. Don't go, stay with me, please. It's just an example. I promise there will be no such complex things in a demo later. This is just to impress you how simple and great Juju is. So with this, we can come into the demo itself. So our first goal is to initialize Azure and Google Cloud instances. On top, we will work with Azure, on the bottom with Google Cloud. As simple as easy login and click on in a browser, we've got all the necessary details and can create our group in USA East. Once that's done, we can request managed Kubernetes, AKS, and it will take time to be created. We don't need to wait. we can do Google initialization in parallel. The same approach, open the link in browser, we remove it from the output, and configure some parameters and request Google Kubernetes, manage Kubernetes at the same time. Sometimes it takes long time to initialize all that parts. So let's make a movie magic and cut the time, and we have Azure initialization done. We dumped credentials into our local Kubernetes config, and with that we can work. And meanwhile, Google is also here, so both clouds are initialized and we have Kubernetes there. Now we need to have ability to quickly configure context for our Kubernetes CLI, kubectl. So let's dump them and, for example, create a namespaces for Istio, the tool we'll use in a second. And also we will need a lot of certificates to do everything secure way. So let's generate them right now as well. At that moment, we can bootstrap Juju controllers, and we are going the most complex way. We will bootstrap 2 controllers in each of the clouds independently. So the command was Juju bootstrap AKS type name. Let's keep it simple, and let's add our first model, DB AKS. Here we have a bit of demo syndrome, so we need to type a bit of workarounds, but that's live demo. And with the same Juju bootstrap GKE with magic of speed up of recording, we have both models available. So we have 2 clouds, 2 controllers, and 2 models. Perfect. Let's connect these 2 clouds together because they know nothing about each other. For that, we will use Istio. Pass was missing. The tool itself is very powerful and requires separate training just to discuss capabilities and what we are doing. But in 2 words, we are on each of the cloud, we are creating the gateways, and we are configuring Kubernetes in a way that for each pod we will start in each Kubernetes namespaces. We will add sidecar Istio containers, which will help us to route all these networks, and they will be able to talk each other. And that's exactly what has just happened. Now it's time to deploy our applications to some of the cloud. Let's start with Google Cloud, for example. So like we saw before, we are going to switch to Google Cloud, and in the bottom we are monitoring Juju status output constantly, and on top we type Juju deploy Postgres, and on the bottom we see the progress of deploying. To save our time, the deployment 3 to 5 times faster. So in real life it's slower, depends on your network downloading speed and many more. But shortly you will have cluster fully installed and initialized. It's a cluster in one command. Now we need to add some client discourse application. Let's go more complex way and put our discourse application in another model for security reason, for IT infrastructure, whatever is necessary. And also we will need to deploy Redis and Nginx Ingress just to have access to that discourse. Redis is necessary for discourse caching itself. We related all that together and waited a bit where everything up and running, and we see the discourse stuck in a waiting status saying that waiting for database relation. That's because we didn't relate discourse to Postgres. Let's go back to Google Cloud and create offer for our Postgres database. Returning back to discourse, searching the offer, find offers, we see it. Now we are going to consume that offer, and in the Juju status below you see new column SAS, which is telling us that we now have locally a new interface to relate with database GKE, and we have just integrated discourse with that interface. As you can see on units level, discourse was in maintenance and now active, which means everything connected and discourse is happy. It has access to the database. And Ingress, meanwhile, receives the public IP, so we can connect it. Let's try to log into web interface, create admin account, and trying to log in there. Unfortunately, at that moment, discourse is enforcing you to activate your email. but we don't have a SMT server. So let's go inside database. As you can see, it's trivial. You get the credentials, you went inside, you did a bit of hacking, and voila, Discourse believe that you are activated. Your account is activated. Perfect. We are now administrator on our Discourse in a couple commands typing. And let's create some test post to make sure that the database is readable. Discourse is enforcing us to make longer post. It's not a Twitter. Perfect. We have a data there. Now let's migrate this data from Google Cloud to Azure. So what we are going to do? First of all, we need to go to Google Cloud model and create a new offer, which will be used for cross-cloud relation. And this model, now we'll go to Azure model, search that offer, and we'll consume it. So once we deploy the Postgres database inside Azure, we can connect Google Cloud using that offer. So let's try that. We are going to deploy Postgres. Let's see that Discourse is happy because nothing happened. It's just a deployment of another application in another cloud. We did significantly speed up it here because we saw it already, no need to watch it long. And now we will have to split the screen one time because now we need to see two clouds simultaneously and still continue typing the commands to perform the connectivity and switchover. So Google Cloud in the middle and Azure on the bottom. Now we are integrating all these newly deployed Postgres on Azure with relation we have just consumed. And you can see nothing happened, Discourse is happy. That's because we need to decide who will be the primary and promote one of the sites to be the primary. Let's promote Google Cloud as a primary because this is where Discourse is connected right now. So as you can see, Discourse see no problems with that. And on the background, Juju is starting promoting cluster. And you can see that the Google Cloud is going to promote and Azure on the bottom is rejoining and resilvering all the data from a primary site. At that moment, Discourse is happy and everything great. So super! We already have disaster recovery copy of our database in another cloud asynchronously without affecting performance of a primary site. Great! Let's try to do switchover. One more check that everything works. And we are now removing relation of Discourse to Postgres and Google just to see that that's really database we are using, and Discourse saying, hey, database gone. Second, that could be a good protection if you need to isolate writes to your database, but this is not obligatory, and there is other possibilities to do switchovers without removing relation. So now what we are doing is promoting Azure to be a new primary. So Google Cloud is going from primary site to standby site, and Azure is going from standby site to primary. It takes a bit of time, but the important bit is that in that moment you see on the bottom it's already primary for Postgres 0 on Azure, and the resilvering is now happening in another site. So synchronization of the data, making sure we are consistent, and all these details going from Azure to Google Cloud. We now can switch to Discourse, find offer of Azure, consume that offer, and relate our Discourse to Azure now, which is database AKS interface. It takes a bit of time in our test setup to propagate everything. Now we see that Google Cloud in the middle is now standby leader. On the top, it's Azure is a primary, and on the bottom, Discourse is happy, and website is going to be ready to use again right now. Perfect, excellent. Let's double check that our database is still readable. So let's post something there. And yes, we have the data there successfully. Perfect. We completed our demo. We migrated our cluster database from Google Cloud to Azure. Nice. What else? Can I is it everything, or you can do something interesting as well? So first of all, the same things you can do for both Postgres and MySQL. And please check our documentation on Charm Hub. There is a copy-pastable manual, which how you can deploy clusters, how can you connect to that clusters, what the difference between switchover and failover when you need to pay attention, what can be done automatically, and many more. And we are open for your feedback and future improvements. So find our documentation examples on Charm Hub, please. Also, there you will find a huge amount of other charms, including databases, and please share your feedback with us. The team is working hard and eager to hear you, and we hope you enjoyed Charmed Postgres Operator and the new Juju capabilities. Join us, collaborate with us, contribute to our charms, and see you on Charm Hub. Remember, with Juju, your infrastructure works like a charm.